If you wanted the official version of that from the stage production, it cost $160. Anastasia, the non-Disney movie that is now technically a Disney movie, changed time and space for many of us with its signature song, Once Upon a December. It's technically not the intended signature song of the movie, that would be Journey to the Past, but Once Upon a December is the number that has stood the test of time the most, in my opinion. Why is that? I'd argue it's because December is a piece meant to capture us not through clever rhymes or bright composition, but through sheer emotion. There's a maturity to the song. Its goal is to take us through the lost memory of our protagonist by then going as Anya. That's not something that can be done with a peppy, expository, Disney-style musical number. A lot of musical theater songs we're used to have a literal nature to them. We understand exactly what the characters want. In this particular Anastasia scene, however, Anya is in a trance-like state. As opposed to understanding what's happening, Anya is chasing after the meaning. We're pulled into the state with her, and that's done through the composition. Now, since I'm not a composer, I found someone who is, Mateo Chavez-Lewis, who runs his own channel called Music Theater Theory. Subscribe to him. He has an excellent sense for musical storytelling, and I've learned a lot from watching his videos. Mateo had wonderful insight in our discussion, so I'll let him take it from here.
Hi there, my name is Mateo Chavez-Lewis. I run the Music Theater Theory channel on YouTube, which you can check out at the end of this video if you want. I'm sure Aster will link it somewhere. We're going to talk today a little bit about the music theory in Once Upon a December because it's just so haunting. It starts out like this. I'm just going to play these first 8 bars for you. Just listen to this. Why does that sound so haunting and mysterious? Well, I think the first part of it is that it sounds like a music box. It's written literally in the sheet music that it's supposed to be played like a music box, but even if that text wasn't there, I think we can infer that from the musical information that we're getting. First of all, it's in 3/4 time, which means there are 3 quarter notes in a bar, so we're counting in 3. It's a waltz time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, etc. A lot of lullabies are in waltz times, you know, dun da da dun da da dun da da dun da da da. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right? Also the fact that it's played so high up on the piano. What's written here is this, which is already relatively high, but then with this 8VA, that basically means play it up the octave. So I take this and I move it up an entire octave on the piano, and then I play it all the way up here. So it's very high, it's very pingy.
The symbolism of childhood is naturally crucial to the feeling of the scene, since Anya is trying to recall something from her childhood buried deep in her subconscious. A music box's high pitch makes us think of innocence, and the simple melodies they hold are sincere. Of course, the music box is a physical object in this scene and throughout the movie, but the symbolism doesn't change. There is, however, a catch to the melody being played here.
And I mean, we all associate music boxes with childhood, right? With innocence, with dreams and imagination and all of these things. But much like in a horror movie where the child is the monster, like The Ring, the fact that it's a child makes it so much creepier. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the juxtaposition between childhood innocence and then this, like, in a horror movie, this, like, violence and supernatural elements. But in Once Upon a December, it's the harmony that's contrasting with this music box innocence. Because it should kind of be like... That's if I played it in a major key, right? But instead we get this. With this constant G to F sharp at the top of the piano. That there, that interval, that's a semitone, and that is often used to evoke creepy feelings. It's in the Psycho theme, right? They're just a semitone played, 2 notes played right next to each other, that's a semitone. It's also, if you move it all the way down the piano, the same distance between notes, where there's literally 2 notes that are right next to each other, is the Jaws theme. So because those notes are so close together, but they're not quite the same, there's something very jarring about hearing them together. And so they're often used to create a sense of like mystery, a sense of suspense, a sense of tension.
I like to think of the semitone interval as being off balance. I'm picturing someone taking one step forward, then back, but not committing to either movement. A typical B chord would feel secure because it's familiar and complete, even a general B minor. However, Anya doesn't feel like either of those words. She's confused and detached, simply going along with whatever it is that's calling to her.
The other thing here is that the chords never lead where you expect them to lead. Here we have an F sharp 7, which leads, an F sharp 7 sus, which leads to an F sharp 7. And that's a pretty standard thing where this chord will lead to that chord, but then it usually leads back to that chord, right? That sounds very normal and lovely, but instead we loop it, so we get this like expectation that then we don't get resolved yet until we land on the B minor chord here. Then Anya comes in and starts singing. We're in the key signature of B minor here, right? The home note, the note that the whole scale is built off of, is B. And so when the melody comes back to B, it feels like we're arriving home. It feels kind of final. Listen to this melody, for example. We land back on that B. It feels final. That's not in this song. In this song, the melody barely ever even touches a B until much later. It starts off like this. Dancing bears, painted wings, things I almost remember. There we touch the B for a second, but we do not land on it. And a song someone sings. Again, here we touch the B, but we don't land on it. Once upon a December. That's the only time so far that we've got a B on the downbeat. So it feels like we're landing in a place that's resolved and final. So all of this has just been drawing out the tension and leading us towards the end of the melody.
With all of this combined, the backing of the song doesn't just feel like a typical lullaby, but something more nebulous. It's not just Anya, we as listeners are also being pulled into the trance. The reason I wanted to highlight this is because songwriting is about more than motifs and cues. In my eyes, songwriting is about appealing to the subconscious, and you do that through evoking emotions. And this isn't just a composition thing either, it's found in the lyrics. Once Upon a December clocks in at under 90 words. That's it. Lyric-wise, that's incredibly short. Time-wise, it's average, so why do we feel so much from it? Well, it's not because the lyrics are a masterpiece of rhyme and vocabulary, it's because, much like the orchestration, the lyrics were carefully chosen to communicate a dreamlike feeling. The first thing I want to point out is the use of emphasis. The rhythm of this song is very consistent. That one beat of the 1, 2, 3 always has a corresponding strong syllable.
Dancing bears, painted wings, someone holds me safe and warm.
By my definition, lyrics are the intersection of words and music. They work off each other. When the emphasis lines up like this, it only furthers the idea of being in a trance because it's repetitive and feels automatic and natural. Not only that, but each syllable is being held for a rather long time. Look at the animation here. Anya is even moving along with the beat.
Things I almost remember.
Another thing I want to point out is the characteristics of the words being used, especially in the first line here.
Dancing bears, painted wings.
If you think it's pedantic when I point out why certain sounds don't work in a song, I want to show you what it's like when they do work. The word dance, with its initial strong syllable and whispered ending, makes it perfect for the opening line. It puts an image in our head, something surreal, not just because of the definition, but because of the way the word sounds. I think of words like this as sounding like shooting stars. They appear suddenly, but have a tail to them. Dance. If the lyric was, say, jumping, it wouldn't feel the same at all. J isn't a plosive or a strong syllable, and the P makes it end abruptly. It doesn't give us the same sense of wonder as the word dance. See how much we can tease out of just one word and how much one word can add, one syllable even? I should make a disclaimer. This isn't the type of thing you should be thinking about the moment you sit down and start writing. This is the type of thing you should be thinking about when you're revising and trying to figure out how you can make something better, how you can take something from good to great. If you're thinking down to this level of detail when you're starting a song, you'll never actually write anything. For example, I think in this song, the original lyric of figures dancing gracefully was probably people dancing gracefully. However, the first syllable of people, being a plosive, came off too strong, so it was changed to figures. Another thing I like about the word figures is that it's more vague, which is fitting since Anya is only barely remembering the scene in her mind. This is also why the imperfect rhyme of gracefully and memory works.
Gracefully across my memory.
Triple rhymes work well with 3/4 time, but they require a lot of brain power. Think about it from a storytelling standpoint, from a narrative. Would Anya have the brain power at the moment to come up with some clever, perfect triple rhyme? Probably not. While the rules of songwriting do exist, don't let them have a chokehold on you. Storytelling always comes first. Another example can be found in the use of this one discordant harmony.
Something really interesting happens here at bar 29. She sings, "Horses prance through a silver storm." She sings an A natural. Horses prance through a silver storm. Through, that's an A natural. But in the piano, we get this A sharp, which sounds like this. If you play an A natural at the same time as an A sharp, it sounds like this. Ooh, nasty, nasty, nasty. The piano's playing this chord, and she's singing this note. Through a silver storm. Right? That's very strange. And this brings me to something that I think is really important about musical theater writing. In musical theater, the characters can lie, but the music can't lie. That's very important. Characters can say things with their words that aren't entirely true, but the music will always tell the truth. I think in this instance, it's not that Anya's lying. It's just that she doesn't remember. There's something deep in her subconscious that she can't quite reach. She can't reach the memories. And so the memories, the things that are happening in her subconscious is, I think, what we're hearing in the piano. And then the fact that her vocal melody doesn't quite line up with it, to me, it represents the way that she's trying to line up with this melody. She's trying to find the sound of this past that she's lost, but she can't quite find it, and so she's not singing it quite right. She's not remembering the A sharp, for example.
Everything about Once Upon a December is storytelling. Even when the lyrics cut out and are replaced by a ghostly choir, it's storytelling. There are no words being sung, but it's communicating something. In this case, it's the overwhelming rush of a faded memory. Ghostly dancers descend from the paintings, and the choir is like their voices in Anya's head. This is a common tactic in songwriting, especially in theater. When the singer becomes too emotional, there are no words that can describe the way they feel, so there are no words in that section of the song. All of this goes back to the feeling of being in a trance, because that's the story.
Something about this song that I think is really important to point out is that it gives us this feeling like we're in a trance. And the reason for that is because it's this extremely steady beat. We've got every single eighth note is covered in the piano, right? It's always do da 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 do da 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 do da 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 do da 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 da. There's like almost nowhere where there's a pause. Literally all of these, literally every single eighth note up until here. Nope, even there. Here. This is the first moment where there's a single eighth note in the entire thing that the piano doesn't play on. It's always da 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 da. Here it goes da 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 da. So that's part of it, is that there's this constant flow of eighth notes in the piano. But also, if you look at the melody line, beat 1 in the bar is always emphasized. We count it like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A lot of music will play around with where the vocal line fits on that count, But not in this song. In this song, every beat 1 is always emphasized. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Dancing bears, painted wings, things I almost remember. It's just like this, consistently on the beat, all the way through the song, and that consistent rhythm is what puts us in that, like, trance state. There's no rhythmic surprises in this song.
Once Upon a December's haunting beauty comes from its willingness to break the mold of theater songwriting. In just 82 words, most of which are repeated, we're able to be transported into someone's subconscious and understand exactly what they're going through in the moment. It doesn't tell you what's going on, it's something you feel. The best songwriting, to me, transcends basic rulebooks. Rhyme and meter might get you somewhere good, but what makes a song great are these tiny, almost intangible details that speak to us on a deeper level. If Once Upon a December was perfect, telling us the story straight out, it wouldn't be nearly as memorable and beautiful. Thank you for listening, and thank you once again to Mateo and Music Theater Theory for collaborating with me and helping me appreciate this song even more. Subscribe if you'd like, and have a wonderful day.